Hello everyone, I'm Danayarina Robles. I will discuss continuous random variables and their probability distributions. Continuous random variables are random variables. X is continuous if its set of possible values is an entire interval of numbers. If A is less than B, then any number x between A and B is possible. So that is the possible outcomes lie in a set, which is formally real analysis continuous, which can be understood in the intuitive sense of having no gaps. So x is technically a function mostly ignored for practical purposes outside of the formula field of measure theory. Next is probability distribution. So let x be a continuous random variable, then a probability distribution or probability density function or PDF of x is a function f of x such that for any two numbers a and b. So a list of the possible outcomes of a random variable along with the corresponding probability values. So for example, kanang random variable outcome naman jud na siya kanang mag-flip tag coin o either kuan siya tao or ibon o inana ba. Then sa ubos ani makita nato ang formula sa probability distribution. So probability times a less than equal or x less than equal b. So kana siya the probability that x lies between A and B. So, mao na siya ang x between A and B. Then, is equal to interval A, from A to B, f of x times dx. So, kining f of x is probability density function. So, mao nang PDF kining f of x. Next is probability density function. So, for f of x to be a PDF, so first is f of x greater than 0 for all values of x. So, ang fx is greater than 0 sa tanan all of values of x na siya. Then second is the area of the region between the graph of f and the x-axis is equal to 1. So, kini siya makita nato sa graph na kining sa y-axis ug sa x-axis. Then, ang area niya sa x-axis is equal to 1. So, makita nato siya sa graph na is equal to 1 siya. So, addition is in a graph typically resembling a bell curve with the probability of the outcomes lying below the curve. So, in this probability density function is naay graph. So, makita nato sa graph na ay A and B. So, between sa A and B naay shaded area of region. So, kining probability times a less than or equal x less than or equal b is the probability that x will be in the interval a and b in any instant in time. So, next, uniform distribution. A continuous random variable x is said to have a uniform distribution on the interval a and b. So, mo tong giingon, which is the probability times a less than or equal x less than or equal b is the interval a and b. So, makita na to mo to siya akong giingon sa inyo ha ganina na a na ay f of x has a and b is equal to 1 over b minus a. So, add, which is a less than or equal x less than or equal b. Or otherwise, it's 0. So, next is probability for a continuous random variable. So, if x is continuous random variable, then for any number c, probability times x is equal to c is equal to 0. For any two numbers a and b with a less than b. So, makita na to siya sa kuan, sa ubos na ay mo to kong gingon ganina sa kuan, sa probability. First na probability is mao ni siya. Probability a times a less than or equal x less than or equal b. Pwede siya mahimong probability times a less than x or less than or equal b. Also, pwede po siya mahimong probability times a less than or equal x or less than b. So, pwede po siya mahimong probability a times a less than b. So, next is the cumulative distribution function. The cumulative distribution function f of x for a continuous random variable is defined for every number x. So, mao ni siya. F of x times f of x. Function of x is equal to probability x less than or equal x. Ito ba? Then, so, ang function of x is equal to function of x, moto yung kuan niya sa fx. Then, ang purpose po sa ng x is, yung dako na x is less than, is equal, ang function ay, ang iyang kuan na purpose is real value of variables. Then, the p is probability that x will have value less than or equal to x. So, using function of x to compute probabilities, let x be a continuous random variable with probability density function. So, f of x and CDF function of x, then for any number a. So, mo ni siya probability x greater than a is equal to 1 minus function of a. So, any numbers a and b with less than b. So, mo na siya sa ubos, nasa ubos na kining formula is probability a less than x less than b is equal to function of b is minus function of a. Next is obtaining f of x from function of x. So, if x is a continuous random variable with PDF of x and CDF function of x, then at every number x for which the derivative function of x exists, derivative of function of x is equal to function of x. So, in this below, for function of x is equal to 0 if x less than 0, then x squared if 0 less than or equal x or less than or equal of 1, then 1 if x is greater than 1. So, buo na siya ang sa function of x. Then, sa f of x is 2x if 0 less than or equal x less than or equal to 1. Or otherwise, it's 0. So, next is percentiles. So, let probability be a number between 0 and 1. The 100 probability percentile of the distribution of a continuous random variable x denoted by n of probability is defined by probability is equal to function of n times p is equal to interval negative infinity from n times p is f of y times dy. So, mao na siya ang formula sa percentiles. So, next is median. The median of the continuous distribution can be defined by the value of x. So, in this below, has interval negative infinity from to c. F of x times dx is equal to 0.5. So, example, given the following probability density function of a continuous random variable, find the median of the distribution. So, muna siya ang kuan. F of x is equal to negative x squared plus 2x minus 1 over 6, or 0 less than x less than 2, otherwise is 0. So, the solution is probability times x less than or equal median is equal to 0.5. So, interval minus infinity to median. So, i-times siya sa negative x squared plus 2x minus 1 over 6. Then, times dx is equal to 0.5. Then, is equal to negative negative x cubed over 3 plus x squared minus 1 over 6x. Then, nanasa gawas ang iyang interval median ni nanasa gawas ang interval from 0 to median is equal to 0.5. Correct me if I'm wrong, kung sakto ba siya. Then, is equal to negative median cube over 3 plus median squared minus 1 over 6 times c is equal to 0.5. So, the median is equal to 1. So, mo na iyang solution. The median is equal to 1. So, expected value. The expected or main value of a continuous random variable x with PDF f of x is expected of x is equal to interval from negative infinity to infinity. X times f of x times dx. So, kini siya, mo ni siya ang formula sa expected value para makuha na to ang solution. So, example of the expected value. In a continuous distribution, the probability density function of x is f of x is equal to 3 over 4 times 3 over 4x times 2 minus x. So, which is 0 less than x less than 2. So, otherwise, which 0 siya. Then, the solution is of the expected of value of x is given by expected of x is equal to interval infinity x times f of x times dx is equal to interval from 0 to 2 x times 3 over 4x times 2 minus x times dx. Then x 3 over 4, then interval from 0 to 2 x squared times 2 minus x times dx is equal to 3 over 4 interval from 0 to 2 times 2x squared 2x squared minus 3x minus x cubed dx times dx. So ang equals niya is 3 over 4 inside sa kining bracket is 2x 2x cubed over 3 minus 4 to the power of 4 over 4. So, ang iyang interval na siya sa gawas, which is the interval of 0 from 0 to 2 is equal to 3 over 4. Inside the bracket na pod, na po siya 2 over 3 times 8 minus 16 over 14. So, imo na siya i-total is equal to 1. So, mao na siya ang makuha is equal to 1 sa expected value niya. Next is variance and standard deviation. The variance of continuous random variable x with PDF of x and mean is standard deviation of squared x times variance of x is equal to interval minus infinity from negative infinity to infinity, positive infinity, times x minus mean squared times f of x dx. So, mao na siya ang formula. So, ang final niya sa variance na gamiton nimo na as a formula is expected x minus mean squared. Then, so standard deviation is standard deviation times equal to square root of variance of x. So, the shortcut formula of variance is variance of x times expected of x squared minus expected of x squared. Maubasa to ba? So, muna na siya. So, that's all sa ako na report. Next reporter.
Good day everyone, I am Cipriella Hinao and I'm going to discuss the normal distribution. So what is normal distribution? Normal distribution is the most common distribution function for independent, randomly generated variables. Its familiar bell-shaped curve is ubiquitous in statistical report, from survey analysis and quality control to resource allocation. What are the applications for normal distribution? When choosing one among many, like weight of canned juice or a bag of cookies, length of bolts and nuts, or height and weight. can write the probability density function of the variable x as follows. What is normal distribution? Example. It fits many natural phenomena. For example, height, blood pressure, measurement, where it follows the normal distribution. Diri na pud ta sa solving. So diri sa ta sa iyang mga formula. So standard normal distributions. The normal distribution with parameter value mean equal 0 and standard deviation equal 1 is mo na gitawag na standard normal distribution. Then sa ubos mo na ang formula to compute. So mo ni ang curve. So 34 is sa mean, and then sa other part na percent is ato na siyang i-solve. So 68 minus 95 divide 2 is 13.5%. Mao nang sa 1. Both 1 negative and positive. So 95 minus 99.7 divide 2 is 2.35%. And then kay napa may 3 standard deviation na bilin, so 99.7% divide minus 100, then divide 2 is 0.15%. So mo inanaon siya pagkuha, and then diri sa z equal x minus u divide standard deviation, mao na siya ang formula sa pag-compute na. And then example sa standard normal distribution. So 50, 10, what are the values of the mean and standard deviation? What values of x has a z-score of 1.4? What is the z-score that corresponds to x equal 30? What is the difference between positive and negative z values? So, z equal 1.4, x equal question mark. So, x equal 30, z equal question mark. So, x equal u plus z and standard deviation. So 50 plus 1.4 and times 10 is 64. So mo na siya ang answer sa A. And then z equal x minus u divide standard deviation. 30 minus 5 divide 10 equals negative 2 divide 10 negative 2. So mo na siya ang answer sa C. So, what values of x has a z-score of 1.4? So, mao na ang answer. Ang answer is kanang gisirkulan sa B. Z equals plus positive 1.4. Then, ang answer sa D na question is kaning gisirkulan and then kaning negative 2. Kaya iyang pangutana, what is the difference between positive and negative z values? So, ang kalahian is ang z equal negative 2 and z equal positive 1.4. So, muna'y kalahian. Okay, next. Non-standard normal distribution. If x has a normal distribution with mean and standard deviation. So, mauna siya ang iyang forma. And the normal curve. So, gi-explain na nako gaina, no? So, di na natutrohon. Example, let x be a normal random variable with mean equal 80 and standard deviation equal 20. So, find x, 65. So, 65 minus 80 divide 20 is negative 0.75, and then i-round off is 0.2266. So, okay, diri na punta sa normal approximation to the binomial distribution. So, let X be a binomial RV based on n trials, each with probability of success P. If the binomial probability histogram is not 2 squared, X may be approximated by a normal distribution with mean NP and standard deviation equal NPQ division. So, mo ni siya ang formula and example. So, naapod tayo ko Andre, probability. So, makita ninyo ang yellow sa nakatungod siya, wala siya nakatungod sa 52 jod, na siya sa center, sa 52 and 53. So, ang atong ibutang is 52.5 minus 45 divide 18. So, always na ng 18 dira, ha? Di mo maglibog. So, ang answer is 1.768. Then, round off, 0.0385. So, ang iyang curve is mauna sa 1.768.
Hello everyone, my name is Farah Gutierrez, and this is my part of our group reporting entitled The Gamma Distribution and its Relatives. The gamma distribution is a continuous distribution depending on two parameters of A and B, where A is the parameter, B is the rate parameter. Probabilities from the gamma distribution, a continuous random variable of X, is said to have gamma distribution with parameters of A and B with both positive. Next, the gamma function. The gamma function, one of the most important and common functions advanced mathematics, are multiplied by A, called the gamma function, and defined by this: the mean and variance. The mean and variance of a random variable of X having the gamma distribution, where Ex equals AB, Vx equals AB squared. The mean and variance of a random variable of X having the exponential distribution. Exponential distribution is also a special case of the gamma distribution. And this is the application of the exponential distribution. Lastly is the chi-square distribution. Chi-square distribution are one of the special cases of the gamma distribution. That's all. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I'm Michelle B. Pastor, and today I am going to discuss to you about the other continuous distributions. First, we have the Weibull distribution. Kani siya, it is a continuous probability distributions. Karon nga mga panahon, it is commonly used to assess product reliability, analyze data, live data, and model failure times. So, ang nakita ninyo karon sa inyong screen is the formula of Weibull distribution o ang iyang parameter. Next slide is the mean and variance. The mean and variance of a random variable X having the Weibull distribution. So, mo na siya ang iyang mean and variance sa Weibull distribution. The cumulative distribution functions of a Weibull distribution. So, kana inyo nakita sa inyong screen karon, mo na siyang formula. So, example aning Weibull distribution is warranty analysis, utility services, the lifetime of dental and medical implants, other areas where time to failure is important. Diba, ang weighable distribution kay it is used to study life data analysis nga makatabang sa ato para ma-measure nato ang time to failure rate. So, next is the log normal distribution. Kung ano siya, halos paihara siya sa normal distribution. But, ang log normal distribution lang is, nag-describe siya sa load variables, while the normal distribution is, nag-describe siya sa resistance variables. So, ang yung nakitaan ko sa screen is the formula of log normal distribution o ang iyang main variance. The cumulative distribution functions, mga na siya ang formula. So, example is kanang amount of rainfall, milk production by cows, the volume of gas in a petroleum reserve. 3. The beta distribution. So, ang beta distribution kay it is versatile way to represent outcomes for percentages or proportions. Ano pa siya? A beta distribution with parameter A and beta with for both positive A and B if the PDF or the probability density function X is kanang nasa inyong screen. Kani. Formula. Ano siyang formula sa beta. Ang mean and variance po sa beta. So, example ani is the heavy candidate will win the next presidential election. So, you might think the probability of this is, for example, 0.2. So, ang imo pong amigo, your friend might think kuan ni siya, 0.25. So, mato siya. Marato and next. Libo gid siya, but, unta nakasabot mo. Salamat.